sometimes rogues simply do rogue things, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm at 28 health, which is respectable. But we're staring down an awful lot of damage here. We used an Eldor Peacekeeper on the Questing Adventurer, got it down to 1 attack, but we couldn't kill it. So he's just continued to buff that attack. And even now, you know, our health total is respectable. We still have the Librum of Justice that we can draw from our deck, combo with Consecration, and would be in with a chance of coming back into the game, but he plays Kronks. And it is game over. So despite what you saw there, you know, don't let that put you off. That loss there against the rogue was just simply a rogue doing rogue things, and it was my one loss with this deck, having beaten a paladin, hunter, demon hunter, druid, priest, and shaman. So yes, 1 win against each of those different classes, which is pretty impressive. 6 wins, 1 loss, 86% win rate on a very small sample size, but still impressive nonetheless. What deck am I playing today? Well, I'm playing Regiskillbin's Pure Paladin, or Librum Paladin, whatever you want to call it. This is my first foray into playing this kind of deck. I don't know why it took me so long to become engaged with it, because it is so much fun and is the most fun that I've had on standard mode in quite some time. So I tried out a couple of different decks, and I've settled on this deck right here, because this deck right here has allowed me to beat Priest. Priest is really hard to beat in standard. It feels like they've got endless resources, endless board clears, and endless stream of minions due to the Galakron hero power. But the idea behind the deck is to play your Librums, to discount them, actually, with cards like Aldor Attendant, Aldor Truthseeker. You discount your Librums, and you then play all of them, get your minions killed off, play them again, and then play Lady Liadrin, and play your Librums again, and you just go on like that. There is some good quality healing in this deck, because you've got the likes of Amber Watcher. There's some cool dragon discovery going on through Bronze Explorer. Some nice board clears available in terms of Librum of Justice comboed with Consecration. And surprisingly, Consecration can just find you lethal sometimes. You'd be surprised at how often that happens. Double Consecration is 4 damage. They don't see it coming. And on the whole, just a really cool deck with some good early game in terms of Imprisoned Sungil, Murgum Gurgle, Shotbot, Aldor Attendant. So you use some good 1 and 2 drops to get you going in the early game. So let's have a look at this deck in action on the standard mode ladder.
With honor, I will command.
And we're starting out against a Paladin. So, is this a Murloc Paladin? Or is it a pure paladin? That is the question. I don't know what other paladins are out there on standard at the moment. So we have a 1 drop, which makes us very happy. Maybe we'll get lucky and draw a 2 drop. Worst case scenario, we hero power. It's not the worst thing in the world. You know, we get a body on the board. It's only a 1/1, but it's still reasonable. Okay. Aldor Attendant. Discounting those Librums. Is it Librum or Librum? So, I guess with the discounts being applied, Librum of Wisdom will become 0 cost as this game progresses. And that's a big deal. It's a 0 cost buff, essentially. So he's played Murga. Now, I would rather hero power and get the body on the board. I want 2 bodies on the board rather than having just buffed my minion there. Because now this is fine. We can play the weapon, kill it, and we're still left with something on the board. Feels reasonable here. Okay. It looks like, well, yeah, it could be a pure paladin. These are all cards that I play, the ones we've seen him play. Okay, the buff means that he can't kill it with the weapon. He'll have to invest something else as well, which is fine if we get a 2-for-1 here. Okay, this is Murloc Paladin then. Ooh, Scargill. That's an interesting pickup. Yes, Murloc Paladin. So, another Murga. Oh god. So we need to worry about him going wide on the board with Murlocs. That's going to be something we need to stop.
For justice.
We could just Consecration. Seems reasonable. Clears the board, keeps it clean. There's an argument to say that I should have kept the Consecration, that when he's got a board full of Murlocs, that Consecration would get us back into the game. But I'm hoping with the cards I have in hand that I can stop him at this early point in the game from going too wide on the board.
What more can I ask for?
Interesting. So we can just kill the full 2. Seems fine.
For justice.
For justice. Again, we're putting the minion out of range, dying to the weapon swing and the hit from his Murloc. 5 health there, making life very awkward for him. Unless he has a top spin, of course. But he's taking a lot of damage here. Interesting. Sacrificing his face to fight for the board. We're fine with that. We have Scargill and the Underbelly Angler.
For justice.
The question is, when do we go off with it? This is the question. Maybe not just yet. Libram of Hope. Really powerful in this deck because of the discounts on the Librams. So it costs 9, but if you can play it for 6 or 7, that's a big deal in terms of the value you get for the healing and the minion that it places on the board. So, unless he has a silence effect, he's certainly not tanking that. And we're looking at this Scargill, we are looking at Finley, we are looking at Underbelly Angler. And very shortly, we will become the Murloc Paladin. We'll show him how to play Murlocs. Just hoping he doesn't concede. That's the key thing. No silence and no concede. That's all we care about here. That's fine. Show off with your Murlocs, because I'm going to show off with mine. Play the Angler first, so we want a Murloc to hand. This is beautiful. Yeah. Bow down to the true Murloc Paladin. Couldn't take the pressure. Okay, let's head into our next game.
Malfurion.
Okay, this will be a true test of the deck.
I will fight with
Druid, who can go super wide on the board, who can, you know, build up an army of tokens and then cast Soul of the Forest on them, which is really annoying to deal with, and then Savage Roar your face down. Druid who can get Dragon Synergy in this particular deck that I think he's going to be playing. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Because pure Paladin is by no means a top tier deck. At least if it was top tier, everybody would be playing it. Yes, there's the Dragon Synergy. Gets the ramp as well. Good for him. Yeah, it's not what I'd call a top tier deck.
Explorer comes prepared.
Oh, yes, Sarah. This is going to be interesting. But it is not played by many people, and so most people, I don't think, know how to combat it, how to play against it, how to strategize against it, and don't know what to expect.
by the holy
We
light.
must stop this corruption.
And you can use that to your advantage, and you can surprise your opponent. You can outwit them almost.
A good explorer comes prepared.
Ooh, Deathwing or Twin Tyrant. Deathwing, because we may actually need Deathwing later in this game if we have a board of tokens that we're facing off against. We have the Librum of Justice available to us. We just need to figure out the right moment to play it. Maybe want him to commit something else big to the board, perhaps. Or maybe he won't. Which begs the question, do we use the Librum now just to get rid of the taunt? Or do we just use that?
Too bad for you. Face it.
That's really good.
For justice.
Lightforged Zealot. 4 cost, 4/2, gives you a True Silver Champion. Considering that True Silver Champion on its own cost 4, this is really good value.
We must stop this corruption.
Okay, another dragon. Sure.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Okay, our Librum of Justice now discounted to 2. That's super good. And one thing this deck can do is just keep the pressure up. Aldor Truthseeker, 5 cost, 4/6, can prove to be a roadblock against aggro. And all of this early game with the Shot Bot and the Aldor Attendant, if you draw it, your opponent can be put on the back foot.
Supply only the finest creatures.
And then they make desperate plays like this. Wow. Exotic Mount Seller kind of sacrificed onto this board here. I mean, he thinks I can't kill it. I can with the Librum. And he only got 1 minion out of it, which is a real shame.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
For justice.
Now, by playing the Librum there,
That was a mistake.
yeah, I think I screw up there. But playing the Librum there, yeah, could I have got a further discount on the Librum? Did I get my ordering wrong there when I played the Truthseeker? I think I did. But yeah, by playing the Librum there, we have basically put ourselves in a situation where if he does go super wide on the board, we're not going to be able to put those minions down to 1 health unless we draw the second Librum.
Bad for you. Face it.
So to get rid of the Mount Seller there, we had to use up that Librum. That's fine though.
Spoiler!
For justice.
Look at this pressure. This is fantastic. We have lethal, I think.
You dare challenge the daughter of Deathwing?
Still have lethal? Yeah, we do. Consecration lethal. This is the best kind of lethal.
For justice.
This.
Beautiful. Okay, now I said a druid game would be a true test for this deck. Well, actually, the real test is the priest matchup. Priests that have endless resources, priests that have endless solutions that they can draw into. I did try another version of Pure Paladin prior to playing this deck, and I just kept losing to priest. I think this version plays a little bit more early game, and sometimes that can make all the difference. Lightforged Crusade also is a really interesting card. Yes, it's a bit RNG centric in that you know, the paladin cards that you put into hand, there are some really bad paladin cards out there, but there are also some really good ones. So you do have to, you know, trust in the RNG. Speaking of RNG, these draws are not great. Liadrin, not what we want to see now. So we are okay though in that we do have the attendant.
I cannot wait to read these.
At least it's something we can put onto the board.
Thy blood.
But we may not have much to do for the next couple of turns until turn 4. That's unfortunate. Oh, until turn 3. That's not so bad then.
Read this.
And maybe he will waste 2 mana here healing his minion and trading, which is fine if he does that. That means that he's not spending 2 mana on a spell in hand or playing a minion.
Home is where the wagon is.
Okay, transfer student, sure. Decides not to heal, that's fine. Decides to develop instead.
For justice.
Well, we reset the board.
Home is where the wagon is.
Now I see what he's got.
Thy blood be born again.
Okay, sure. Do we swing with a weapon? Do we kill that? Do we just want to keep the board clear? Oh dear.
By the holy light.
And that's something that could be very, very problematic for me. Thought steal. They always steal the best cards. Have you noticed that? It's always the best cards they get.
For justice.
I'm going to remove that. Because they can buff it. We don't want that. If we can keep the board clear, we keep the board clear. Particularly when we have Lightforged Zealot in hand, so we can equip another weapon if needed. Let's make him think we can't do that though. Let's make him overconfident. Let's get him to play a beefy minion on the board and then we'll kill it with True Civil Champion. Five mana? Something beefy?
I will act as your skin.
That's beefy. That's pretty significant. We'll kill that. Now we're going to attack
For you. For justice.
with the shot bot. And you may be asking, why? With Divine Shield and Murga, why attack with the shot bot? Well, I'm really, really scared of Shadow Madness. And they always have it. They always have it, either played naturally in the deck, or they get it from playing the Galakron cards.
I wonder.
More like a wisp than a warden.
That's relatively harmless for the time being. We don't need to worry about it.
Home is where the wagon is.
There's something really creepy about that card, Transfer Student. It's the soundtrack. There's something really creepy
I'm
about it.
going to throw the book at you.
Makes me shiver. Do you get the same feeling?
Do not shoot.
Look There's that creepy soundtrack again for that card. It's one thing Blizzard are really good at: production values. Sound effects, music, production values, artwork.
The end begins. Thy blood be born.
Sometimes I wish their artwork would be a bit darker, a bit more serious, a bit more somber. It's a bit cartoonish. So, what value did we get? This is not too bad. I mean, Bronze Explorers. We could get some big dragons. I'll take that. That's fine. Maybe with the cartoonish artwork, they're appealing to a younger audience. Trying to make Hearthstone as accessible as possible, to as wide an age range as possible. I understand that. But I'd like to see one expansion maybe where they just go super dark. Okay, dark theme, and we get cards with really sort of dark and serious artwork.
By the holy
There's
light.
another thought steal. What's he stealing? Now we can sort of see in our hand, we can see the cards that are stolen, thanks to the deck tracker.
Thank you.
A good explorer comes prepared.
Okay. We're still going to have command of the board here. He's still going to be reacting to what we do. And we have so many tools in hand, so many resources to utilise still. 6 cost, Libram of Hope, pretty decent value. We'll discount it again, why not?
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Now it costs 4. That's
You disgust me.
pretty amazing.
For justice.
That is 4 cost, restore 8 health, summon an 8/8 with Taunt and Divine Shield for 4 mana cost. Pretty incredible. And he's nearly dead. And then when we play Liadrin, we get those Librams back. He's going to have a really hard time getting through this board. 8 health taunts. Meanwhile, we'll continue whacking his face for 7. And soon he'll be dead. He really doesn't know what to do here. He's really confused. Oh, come on. Soul Mirror. From Renew, he doesn't get full value on it though. But there is a taunt in the way, and we've lost our 7 attack, which is actually very frustrating.
Spoiler!
So what we can do is we can kill the taunt, we can heal up one of our taunts. Why not discount the Libram
I cannot
again?
wait to read these.
3 cost. That's insane. Insane value. And I believe when you play Liadrin, it will retain the discount.
Looks like I'm here just
When you get the Librams back to hand, they will still be super cheap. That's fantastic. Essentially, with the Librams constantly then coming back to hand, it's after you play Liadrin and then play the Librams again, get those minions killed off, get them back to hand again. It's just never-ending resources. Really, really good value. You've just got to be able to maintain a minion on the board, and you can do that with the hero power. So that was his thought steal there, giving him the Libram, but he had to pay 9 for it. I mean, it's still pretty good, because you get a Divine Shield minion as well as the healing. That Divine Shield really does count for a lot.
Read this. A good explorer comes
Ooh, Deathwing again, but Brightwing could give me a useful legendary. Hello, friend, and that's not a useful legendary, damn it. I should have taken Deathwing. Ysera's pretty good.
Just maybe.
Okay. Do I want to buff my taunts? I don't want to do that, because they're then in range of Shadow Web Death. Maintaining 4 attack minions is really good against Priest. You're really going to struggle to deal with it.
Power in trinkets.
Okay, there's the Shadow Madness. Thankfully, he's not Shadow Madnessing something with a Libram applied to it. Libram of Wisdom, specifically. So, do we have any kind of lethal coming up here? 12 damage on board. He's gonna heal. That's annoying. Oh look, hello, True Silver Champion.
I feel bad for you. Face it.
And that is precise lethal. Those taunts have really done significant work for us. Okay, heading into our next game against a Shaman. And this is a really, really good opening hand. Double shot bot, angling rod. Really happy with that. The only thing that would make this better is if we got the Aldor Attendant, but it's fine. I do apologise also if you can hear some rain in the background. This afternoon we've had some rain. It seems to be pelting down in the background. I don't know if the mic is picking it up, so apologies if you can hear rain.
I cannot wait.
Try and focus on my voice and not the rain. And look, we did get the Aldor Attendant. Really, really happy about that. Although we can't kill the totem. Would it be too much to ask Blizzard to buff Aldor Attendant? 1 cost, 2/2? 1 cost, 2/2? Because then we can kill totems, right? But yeah, we had to coin out the weapon. We had to get rid of that totem. You do not want that totem sticking on the board for too long.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
That's hot.
Oh my goodness. So he is going super wide here. Do you know what scares me here? Bloodlust. That's what scares me in this matchup.
For justice.
Yeah. Well, a bit of Murloc power here. We'll see if he takes a value trade with the Attendant. Or if he just kills both of the Murlocs.
On the wings of
I'm okay with either result. So, Mana Tide Totem. So this suggests to me that this is a totem-heavy deck. He'll look to buff and replicate the totems, and then win from there. But if he can't keep any totems on the board, then there's no way for him to win. And I think we've got the tools to keep the board under control. The Reborn effect on Shotbot is going to be really, really helpful in terms of keeping this board under control.
I wonder.
And without that early start, where they could just keep things stuck to the board, they're forever playing catch-up. Totemic Reflection on that 1-1 totem. I think there were other totems he was hoping to get that on. But it's still reasonably strong. I mean, 2 3/3s here. I'm going to have to sacrifice the 4-2. And I'm going to have to throw my face into it.
For justice.
I mean, that's wiped out something significant from my board, but we still continue to develop. We're still in control. This deck seems to be really, really good at keeping control of the board when you've found your early game, when you've found your Aldor Attendant, when you've found your shot bots, or even Murga. And if you can combo those early game minions with a Libram of Wisdom, it's even better. Or even Hand of Adal is fine too. There's a Libram of Wisdom,
I cannot wait to read.
which now costs 0. Fancy that.
Let's get him! Read this! Cannonball! Do not shoot!
So we're heading into turn 7 for Lightforged Crusader. We've got enough hand space for it, so we're quite happy about that. Meanwhile, the best he can do is hero power. And 4 mana. What are you going to do with 4 mana? Ooh, okay. 2 for 1, that's fine. We'll take it. So he's trying to fight for the board here. Consecration, interesting pickup. But I think the Crusader
Impurity will not
is
be
better.
tolerated.
Oh, it's given us another Consecration. And Subdue. Interesting. So, one of the earlier versions of Pure Paladin that I played before this deck had Subdue in it. It was a really, really good card.
Do not
Just
shoot!
neutralizing massive threats.
Do not shoot! Cannonball!
Although, I don't know. 2 cost, neutralize 1 minion. Is Equality better? Equality, which is now more expensive, it doesn't cost 2 anymore. But you can neutralize an entire board with Equality Consecration. But Libram of Justice can just fulfill the same role as Equality. Especially if you can discount your Librams. You know, instead of costing 5, make Libram of Justice cost 2. That's insane. You disgust me. That's a really harsh thing to say.
Looks like I'm here just in time.
Just in time? How do we want to play this? It just feels like we can't really go wrong here, no matter what we do. Do we just want to subdue that 4/5 or the totem even?
This!
I guess this is fine.
Do not shoot!
0 cost Libram of Wisdom. Alright, this is a board. Killer Raccoon there, a friend of mine, asking me about Legend, and I get this a lot. I get people asking me, when are you going to go for Legend? When are you going to go for Legend? Are you going for Legend this season? You know, they look at my rank and say, oh yeah, you're rank 2 Diamond. Are you going for Legend? And the answer is, I've hit Legend a couple of times this year. with a Jade Dragon Druid, and that satisfied me. I don't feel the need to go for Legend again this year. Maybe next year. But it's not something that I think about. It's not something that I obsess over. For me, the priority is having fun. And as long as I can hit Diamond 5 each season, or even Diamond 10, honestly, that's all I care about. The rest of the time, I just want to play fun decks. Decks like this, for instance. So we could see what he was going for in this game. He was looking for going wide on the board, buffing his totems. Replicating those totems and possibly bloodlusting. But we've just not given him the opportunity. Killer Raccoon offering me a deck list there. His decks are always very interesting. Maybe this is a preview of things to come. We'll see. So, Regiskillbin's Pure Paladin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm obsessed now with Pure Paladin. I love Pure Paladin. It is absolutely glorious. What you did not see in this video was anything significant done with Lady Liadrin. It just turns out in most games that you do not need her. But in the long game, i.e. against priests, she certainly does come in handy, where your hand is more or less empty. You play her, you get the Librams back. Hopefully at this point in the late game, the Librams have been discounted. So, you can then play them all, get them back to hand and just keep playing them. Turn after turn after turn. And that can sometimes just be too much value for your opponent to deal with. So if you've got any feedback on this deck, I'd be interested to hear it. But most importantly, if you have a stronger version of Pure Paladin that you play on Standard, I'd be interested to hear about it. But also, if you have a version of Pure Paladin that you play on Wild Mode, and you're actually winning with it, I certainly would be interested in hearing about it, although I've not seen anyone play Pure Paladin on Wild. Very rarely do I see anyone playing on Standard. So anything else that you've got on Pure Paladin, any decks that you've designed, any decks that you've found on your travels through Reddit or Twitter, I'd be very interested to hear about. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved playing these games today. And next video will be a big priest, courtesy of Killer Raccoon. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all again for more Hearthstone fun.